Hello there, fellow messers and messies. Unfortunately, this episode of The Mess Hall has some audio issues. We apologize for any inconvenience and want you to know next week's episode will be back to normal. Hope you enjoy the show.
Guys, welcome to the podcast!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mess Hall!
Hey, there we go. You know me, you know her. Doing it again.
Here we go!
And good seeing you. It's been so long.
I know, I missed you, Ben. It's been minutes.
I missed both of you guys. I made that mistake.
Yeah, you really, everyone can, people message me the tension we have. They're
Sexual
"Dude,
tension between Andrew and Ben.
Between you guys is really weird on that podcast.
Palpable.
They always tell me, they're like, I don't know if you guys are going to fight or fuck. And I'm like, I don't know either.
It's like Jim and Pam.
I was talking about all three of us.
Oh.
Jim, Pam, and Pam. Two Pams, one Jim.
Who would be the third?
You're
Michael.
a Pam, you're a Pam. Who's Michael in this situation? How do you figure?
I feel like
Oh, God.
I'm the biggest
What a
nerd.
Toby move
I'm
you
the
just
biggest
did.
nerd. Yeah.
You're a Toby.
And you're like looking at the you're Jim and you're Pam.
You're an
Okay.
Angela.
Who would I be? You're the
Person
one who
one.
knows the office.
All right,
best.
let me think this out. You're saying I am a Jim in this sitch.
Well, in that threesome, but no, hold on, then I'd have to think who.
All right, let's break it down. What office characters are we? Let's do it. You. Maybe you're the background guy, so you're not like a main character, right? Maybe an Oscar.
Yeah,
the
likable,
numbers.
wit, smart.
I could be
Well,
a
I wouldn't
Stanley.
say all that. Stanley, you wish you were Stanley. You don't have half the attitude Stanley
Yeah.
does. He'd be great to be. I'd love to be a Stanley.
Alright, fuck you, I'm out of here.
I know that you're gonna say one of two people, and I'm already pissed off. But go
What?
ahead.
No, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like.
I just don't want to be Dwight or Andy.
Well, technically, you're like the camera guy.
No.
And he breaks scene in season 11 when he punches that guy for trying to attack Pam.
Okay.
You're that guy because
Okay.
you're the audio. You're doing all that. We're becoming friends. You're friends. You protect her. If I came out swinging at her, you try to knock me out.
It's true.
Wait,
See?
who am I in this?
If you were a Pam.
I'd be
Yeah,
the
no.
actual camera guy.
Yeah, he's the actual camera. But the camera guy is an actual character in the show.
Canon, yeah.
Yeah. So he does show up in the last season. He has lines. He's like a whole. They break that down. So
I haven't seen that, but yeah.
yeah.
That's neat.
So that would be you. You're the actual camera guy who has lines and is in the show and is friends with her and protects her.
I like that.
Oh yeah, I do like that guy a lot.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
All right. So.
But I don't think I'm really Pamish. I'll tell you who I relate to the most, but who would you put me as?
Ooh. Okay. Let's see.
I
You're
feel.
not gonna like it.
I know. I know who you're gonna say.
On the count of three, let's say it. One,
One,
two, three.
three.
Angela. You're such an Angela. Come on.
I'm Stanley.
You're the opposite of Stanley.
I am
You would call the cops on
Stanley.
Stanley.
Of course. Wait, should we get into this week? That was I a Karen this week? Question.
Oh, I would like to know if you were. Well, I'm putting my money on the fact. You guys be the judge in the comments of this YouTube or wherever you see this clip or whatever. I would love. We're gonna hear the story, and then you tell us if you think she was a Karen. My bet is yes, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'd like to hear all sides.
All right, it's just a small, quick thing. Here's what happened this week at HEB shopping for groceries.
Karen.
Already a Karen.
Karen, done.
At HEB shopping for groceries. Get into the self-checkout line. There are 3 people in the self-checkout line. First, 2 tween girls with just one little item. They obviously came to buy a little ready-to-eat thing together.
Okay.
Cute. Then a dude, skinny, creepy white dude in
Why was he creepy?
in a beanie. Every feeling in my bones. It's just hard. It's one of
He
those.
gave you that ick vibe from the last episode.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. It's a hard thing to describe. I feel like anybody in front of him would have experienced it, and then after would definitely have, and then me. Okay? So I'm just behind these people, right? I hear the guy say to the two tween girls, obviously tween girls wearing that, you know, like makeupless, still innocent, young, probably like 12, 13, in like long, both of them had that outfit that tween girls wear, short, like Umbro-y type shorts, long Stussy? How do you say that
I don't know
brand?
what the hell you're talking
It comes in
about.
the story.
Shirt.
Stussy
Yeah.
brand shirts and flip-flops, and their little ready-to-go meal. The guy says to these two young girls, he's like, "Ooh, you guys love Stussy?"
How old's the guy?
The guy had to have been nearing 40.
Whoa,
40.
okay. I thought you were going to say he was
Okay.
like 18 or...
Long,
okay.
Nope. Long, greasy hair, 40,
With a
beanie,
Okay.
skinny, creep.
Okay, well, he says you like Stussy.
And he's like, oh, he said, you girls like Stussy, whatever. And they're like kind of confused. They were talking to each other. They're having fun. They're like tween girls not looking at this creep.
Yeah.
And they turn to him and they're like, oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I love it. And then looks at me, and maybe this is part of the reason I didn't like him. Looks at me and he's like, are you girls with your mom? And I was like, so that was annoying, but also what got me with that question was like, why are you asking if there's an adult with them?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I just thought they were saying you were the mom, and
well,
that's
so
funny
that is annoying. So I want to be honest, like that got under my skin on an ego level. But also I was like, why is he asking if there's an adult with them? Like, why is he checking? I just got one of those things where it was just a simple question, but I got
Yeah, it's a creep move.
a vibe, right?
Yeah,
So it could be very Karen of me to make assumptions, but I was getting one of those feelings that was just like in my bones. I could feel it.
Yeah.
And the way his eyes were looking them up and down, and everything about it made me like mom mode. Even though I'm not these girls' moms because they're way too old for me to be their mom. But anyway, but they were also super young.
How old are you? Wait. You're old enough to have a 12-year-old.
Am I?
I have a 13-year-old.
I mean, okay, but you're a slut.
I was just a young...
I'm fine.
I was a young comer.
That doesn't...
First of all, 25 is when I had my kid, which is actually not that crazy.
Well, this guy was hoping for young comers. It wasn't good, and I did not get a good vibe. Listen,
All right.
okay?
All right, so what did you do?
So I made assumptions, whatever, but I'm watching these girls check out. This guy's checking out on the self-checkout next to these tween girls, and just...
Don't call them tweens.
I fucking them. Like, the whole time staring at them and trying to interact with them. I'm checking out across the way, but I can see him talking to them. And so I'm like checking out so slowly, even though I only had like 2 items. I'm just like trying to check out and make the whole process slow because I don't want to leave until I see the girls leave or him leave first or not together, right?
Yeah.
So it's taking them forever. I finish up and then I'm like, I can't just stand here because there are people in line. So I go to an HEB employee who's at the self-checkout and I was like, I'm just going to stand here with you because this guy is talking to these young girls, creeping me out. I think we need to keep an eye on him. Being all the Karen things that everybody would
This
say
isn't a Karen situation. I think you're confused on what a Karen is.
I think I am.
But I think it sounds like you were doing a good deed.
I was making
and
judgments
even
about
if
a
you
man
were,
I didn't know.
That is true, but even if you were doing something, let's say you were completely off. Maybe the guy was just a nice guy and he was just making casual conversation.
Just a little awkward.
Let's just say, yeah, maybe he's awkward and weird.
Yeah.
But even in that scenario, what you're doing is you were just being a protective person. And there's nothing wrong with looking out for other people. And so that's not a Karen thing.
I did make a rude comment to him, but just in response to the mom thing, I was like, no, I'm obviously way too... I was like, thanks for the not a compliment or something. Anyway, so I wait. They left at the exact same time. The girls, like, went and sat on the bench out front of the HEB with their little, like, to-go food things to eat.
Wow.
And
that is a young thing.
Yeah.
Is eating outside the grocery store.
Cute. I watch the guy pass them, say something to them, and then continue walking. And I turned to the girls like some old bitch, and I was like, if that man talks to you again, you should really talk. There was an officer up front of the HEB, there always is, and he was standing right there.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to tell the officer, I was like, do you guys have a ride? Like, where are you going next? Like, that was really creeping me out. And they're like,
and then they reported you to the officer. They're like, this lady is
no, they're like, they were like,
questions.
yeah, it was creepy. They're like, we're going to get our nails done across the street. And I was like, oh, have so much fun. And I just tried to, like, not scare them, but also, like, tell them, like, watch out. I don't know. I couldn't just linger there. But it did feel very Karen-y, because I was, like, making all these judgments, and I was getting involved in people's business that wasn't my business, and I was...
Okay, those two things you just said are Karen-y, right?
Yeah.
Getting involved in things that aren't your business and making judgments about people you didn't know. Those are two Karen qualities. So I get why you're confused, but this is not a Karen situation, right? There's that. I don't think this is a Karen thing at all.
This might be a Karen misdemeanor, not a felony. Like,
Right.
because if you go to the cops, that's when it's problematic. You're like, you don't know this guy, he just whatever. But if you go to somebody that says, hey, I'm a little concerned, I think that's a big difference.
Yeah. I'm not ruining that guy's life. I was talking to the HEB employee, who was also a teenager, by the way. And I was just like, just keep an eye on it.
And I'm not saying this is every case, but a lot of Karens, there's also usually a race element to the situation. So the fact that this guy is a white guy
he was a
does help
white
it not
dude,
be a Karen sitch.
I was judging his appearance, I will say that. Like, he looked like a...
Scruffy. What if he was 18?
He looked like a...
Well, it's still not good, but...
He definitely was not. And yeah, an 18-year-old should not be talking to 12-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Like...
Also, 12-year-old girl should not be anywhere by themselves.
Right? I know, they're like going to get their...
Nowadays, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really know. I don't know what are the rules. I mean... my 13-year-old boy doesn't go anywhere by himself. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, and not to say a girl can't go and a boy can or anything like that, but my kid doesn't go anywhere by himself, and he's 13. And so, but when I was a kid, my dad would drop me off at the movies with movie money for one movie and leave me there for 9 hours. So, you know, like, it was just, but that's a different time back then.
I was partying and making mistakes by the time I think I had my first drink at like 14, and I was probably too young, but I don't know, I think it's good to like make mistakes and be in like, learn from those mistakes when you're like 18 to 24 or whatever, but yeah, I was being nosy and I was worried about that, I was stressing and sweating.
Yeah, that's not a Karen though, you're good. Actually, I think this is a story, this might be the first story you've told on this podcast that makes you likable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I'll take it.
I think you're going to get more fans from this.
I feel like you need to have a villain story or tell us a Karen thing, because I
just did a couple episodes ago about the oversized people.
Yeah, that is true.
And it was not. I listened to the episode, and I don't sound like a great guy. I'll say that. But also, you know, I held my tongue the whole time, and I didn't Karen it, so that's good.
Should I tell this crazy story about about this Russia thing? So just all this Russia stuff made me think of it and remember.
The coup!
So I think people already know that I have Russian adopted siblings. I grew up going to Russia all the time. My mom is obsessed, so she had...
I didn't know that.
I feel like I talked about this in an episode.
The Russian brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally have...
vaguely. I'm bad.
My mom adopted 8 children from Russia.
That's absurd.
I was trying to...
And she loved them all more than you.
It was literally like... People think she's an angel because she did this, but she adopted these kids like Michael Vick adopted dogs.
She fought them against each other?
She basically, like, if they weren't making her money, she didn't care if we were alive or dead. Is that too dark?
Well,
that's the truth. Anyway, so she was obsessed with Russia. She had this apartment, this 2-story apartment in St. Petersburg, Russia, okay? She had it forever. We went there growing up all the time. So she stopped going as much as we got older, and she got older. But she had this, like, manager for the apartment, right? Who would collect the rent from these renters that moved in. And for a while it was fine, but then, like, the manager of the apartment stopped giving her the rent on time regularly, and like just not being in contact as much. It was all really shady. So on her next trip to Russia, she just decided to show up and check in on things herself, right? So she and her friend Galina, they go into this apartment one day. They're like, it's like a buzzed door downstairs. The apartment was like gorgeous. I remember my mom, she's super bougie. She spent money on like tiles for the fireplace from Amsterdam and all these fine finishes. It was very nice back in the day. So she goes up to this top floor apartment, 2 top floors. It takes the whole 2 top stories of this building. She walks in, and already like something seems off. The door was ajar, and she walks into the hallway, and there's like a podium, like a podium you would see at a restaurant, right? And there's a girl standing behind the podium that isn't the family that she ran into at all.
Is it a whorehouse though?
And literally cell phones, like 6 cell phones lined up on the podium, and the girl's trying to speak to her. My mom's friend Galina speaks Russian, so she's like, we want to see Igor, the guy who is the manager, where is he? And she said, oh, just 1 minute, and she like picks up the phones and she's like dialing, and she's obviously like stressed out and flustered. But this is also during the middle of the day. So my mom's like, well, this is my apartment. So she starts walking around this like beautiful luxury thing that she created. And every room has these like curtains put up like this and is separated into little like cells. And each little cell has a cot and tissues and is filthy.
Yeah.
Filthy. And this girl, meanwhile,
this is a probably not a. I mean, it's sex trafficking place, right? Is that what we're talking about?
My mom's luxury Russian apartment is a full-on brothel.
Jeez.
It is a full-on.
Is it legal in Russia?
No, it's not legal. But this is like a nice area, and maybe like, I don't know the quality of like horror houses in Russia, but I think this is probably like
upscale
in heavy quotes.
Yeah.
But like my mom, I can't tell you how bougie this place was. Like it was very, very nice.
Yeah.
And
the nicest whorehouse in miles.
And maybe it wasn't doing that well, because at some point the renters who she had like met and who had like 2 kids and like
stopped paying
or moved out, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was turned into this, and the guy just stopped sending her money. But anyway, with all the stuff that has been happening in Russia, it's like very backward, and they don't have, you know, cancel culture and shit there. But at least we're not Russia, because
that is true.
Yeah. Anyway, so my mom's Russian apartment turned into a whorehouse, and there's no like legal. She can't do anything now. Like if you're an American that owns property in Russia,
yeah,
like, there's no legal recourse. She's just fucking.
So she just kick them out and just.
No, she can't kick them out. She has no. She didn't even have.
She owns the property.
You don't see. This is
what I'm saying. You can't just kick somebody out and.
Americans cannot fathom, like, what is she supposed to do? Call the cops and be like.
I think they're called something else there.
Call the FSB, call the KGB, and be
like.
Yeah,
KGB.
These are the KGB is now the FSB, but call them and
there
say,
are whores in my building.
I'm an American. They don't give a shit. They would laugh in her face. People think we have it so terrible here. There's like no real justice in so many other places. Like there's no legal recourse for her. There's nothing that she can do. They would just lie. And they're probably paying. So a lot of these places, even if you're a legitimate business, like McDonald's in Russia, you are paying someone off every month for your space that you're renting and your protection. And there was a McDonald's, I use that as an example because apparently there was a McDonald's in Moscow that refused to do that and was bombed. So, yeah, I'm sure this whorehouse is paying
somebody.
Their people.
Not your mom.
No. Anything that was, anything.
Well, good, your mom stinks though, you don't like her.
It is true.
So, haha, and good for the
she's
sex prostitutes.
She's terrible. Maybe this was all too dark, by the way, with the thing I said about
we got 2 dark episodes in a row, so that's pretty good. get ready to get depressed, people.
But yeah, there's no recourse, and I just think that it's like, it is kind of hilarious that she's this like very uptight Mormon lady, and this was going on in her like fancy. It's kind of like for those people who are like eat the rich people, it's kind of funny that all of like her fancy bullshit was turned into a whorehouse.
Yeah.
That does bring me.
That is like, pretty funny. Minus the, if it's not legal. So there's a lot of places where it's legal. Australia, legal. Didn't go to one, but it was legal in New Zealand. And it's like it's also like part of the it's like part of the culture there apparently.
I
like
think it makes it safer for the sex workers.
Well, it is. They all get tested. They all they're not being sex trafficked because it's all legal and they got to do it through like the government rather than these places like Russia or here even where all these things exist here. But they're just hidden, and it's unfortunately probably some poor sex trafficked girl.
I think it would be safer if I'm one of those like crazy people who thinks like all drugs should be legal too. Like if people wanna, I think it would take like a lot of the money out of the pockets of drug dealers. And I think people who are going to do it are going to get it anyway. And now they're putting themselves in much more dangerous situations to get.
You can do it in America. You can do all drugs legal in America just for the simple fact that we sue everybody. One person overdoses on whatever brand heroin, then you're like, well, now they're going to get sued.
But they're going to overdose anyway.
Exactly, but it can't be someone's fault is the issue. You know what I mean? If it's someone's fault, then everyone, then there's suable people. You can't sue it. Well, you can sue a drug dealer, but you'd have to find out who it was and all that shit. But no one's suing drug dealers. You know what I mean?
No, but if it was legal, you could sue the drug companies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is yes.
Yeah, you should. But
and then they wouldn't make heroin.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's actually pretty good solution here.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't think all drugs should be legal. There are some drugs that just shouldn't exist, I think.
Yeah, but
crocodile.
This is my point.
You wanna do crocodile?
It's not going to go away because it's illegal. That's the same thing with like. We could get into the gun. I feel like all of this is getting.
I watched this video of this guy drinking gasoline the other day.
It's not going to go away because it's illegal.
Gasoline's legal.
People are just going to go to scary.
I don't think drinking it is.
Scary lengths to get things.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I googled. If you could drink gasoline after I saw this video, and you can. You can drink gasoline and that fucks you up. It can kill you if you drink too much of it, obviously. But it fucks you up apparently.
Why?
Why did I Google it? Or
why would someone do that?
Because he was trying to get fucked up, I think. He literally did a shot glass of it and he was and then he walked away. And I was a little bit more of a shit.
With gas prices these days, it's more expensive than a shot.
Yeah.
In this economy?
Yeah. Well, I drink electric, so.
I kind of agree with Jamie. I think when you legalize things, you can regulate them, and it does make it safer in general of okay, we know that people are doing heroin, and we have safe places for them to wean them off of it, and we can help them.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, we could do that. I could talk about this shit all day, but the heroin, upstate New York, everyone I know did heroin. I never did it. I got out. Luckily, I moved here, but I knew friends that have all been addicts. And then they get off of it, and then they do Suboxone. Is the thing that the drug that the government gives you that is just like heroin, a little bit less, but it's supposed to wean you off. But all it does is make you addicted to this shit, and then you're doing that forever. And then there's another pill they give you that is also fucking you up, and it's supposed to be like a slow wean. But what happens is you're just getting them addicted to other pills now, and so all these drug addicts are just addicted to OxyContin and fucking Suboxone and all these other fucking things.
You just made our point.
Well, I know. Well, that's what I mean.
That's the world where it's illegal.
Yes, but if it was legal, they're going to do the same shit. It's just I don't know. Heroin. You can never convince me that heroin, PCP, crack cocaine should be legal.
Because
I can get behind
illegal
weed.
It's worked so well.
I can get behind the weed. I can get behind. I wouldn't even want cocaine to be legal. That seems crazy to me.
You're just not getting rid of it, though.
Huh?
You're not getting rid of it. You're making it more dangerous to access it, and you're making the market
fentanyl
price,
thing is scary, so there's that.
You're making the market price by making it illegal. You're putting You're making the market price skyrocket.
We're from Texas. We can't even legalize weed. Let's start with that. That's good, right?
I think it should all be legal. I think that you bankrupt these drug dealers. You plummet the price and cost of drugs, and people who are going to do it anyway are going to get it and access it in less scary ways.
I get what you're saying. I get your point.
And not have to sell their body or like do other crazy
agree.
shit.
I still don't agree. But I get your point. I get your point. I just don't agree with it.
There could be a middle ground of like, it's not legal to produce or distribute, so big pharma can't come in and be like, we're doing big heroin now.
Yeah.
Because they are evil people. We know that.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
No, we don't want to trust them.
The legal drugs that our government and that our medical, gives us.
And you trust Stevie Pete from the HEB to talk to tweens and sell?
I didn't trust that guy. No.
That's the other guy.
I tell you, I've got drug dealer friends that I trust a hell of a lot more than the guy prescribing me OxyContin if I wanted it. And I could go get OxyContin if I wanted. Pretty goddamn easy in this country. And I think that the big pharmacy or whatever the hell you want to call them, pharmaceutical companies, they're fucking worse than any goddamn drug dealer. So if you legalize this, guess what? You're just putting it in the hands of the fucking worst drug dealers of all time, the big pharmacies. They're the fucking worst. So that's my argument against it. Is I'd rather a mom and pop drug dealer and fuck these big corporations.
They should still exist.
Nah, I don't think they would.
They would be making less money. I think anyone it would just lower the cost of drugs, and wouldn't be as rich of a game to go into. All the Suboxone and all that stuff is making them hand over fist money.
I know.
And it's probably subsidized by government dollars.
They want you addicted. That's it. It's the whole thing.
By the way, this is not a political podcast.
Oh, sure is today, baby. My mom was on that shit forever. My mom was not Suboxone. She was on like hydrocodone and all this shit. Like I remember as a kid, we would do like, well, honestly, we would jack my mom. We'd steal her pill bottles because she was so addicted. She had multiple different doctors who prescribed her the same goddamn thing, and then she had multiple different bottles of these pills. And then like we would like steal a couple and take some and get fucked up in high school. But she had so many, and every 6 months she's like, these things aren't working anymore. Guess what? They're getting up milligrams. It went from like 250 milligrams to 500 to 750 to 1,000 to like 1,500 milligram fucking hydrocodeines. And my mom was like, this is dark and sad, so get ready. I remember when my mom was so fucked up off these pills that whenever I wanted to do something as a child, I knew to wait till she had taken her pills, and I go, hey mom, can I go do this? And she'd be like, yeah, I don't care, do whatever, get out of here. And then she'd wake up like a day later and be like call around, be like, where the hell are you? I was like, you said I could go to Tommy's house. And then I don't know what's worse, me doing that or my mom being like that. It's really tough.
And that's the legal.
Yeah, that's my saying. I don't trust them. I trust the drug dealer more than I trust the fucking legal fucking people, because they just want money for their corporation and for them. And I get that drug dealers just want money, but it's at a lower level, and they want money for.
They have people that run them too.
I get it, but I don't know.
You think that these like head honchos in Mexico give a fuck either? They're just the Purdue family with a different name.
The Garcia family.
I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, but I get some of your points. Totally understand some of them. But
and
for me, I think I just hate.
And it makes the cost of drugs more expensive. But everybody at my high school was also doing drugs from their parents' cabinet too.
Yeah.
That was huge. And I remember specifically OxyContin was huge at my high school. It was even called, I think we called it hillbilly heroin.
Jesus. Yeah.
Right? Well, it shouldn't be actually, because isn't OxyContin kind of like expensive and fancy? Anyway.
Yeah, that shit was nuts. But, alright, so different stances. But I think that
we shouldn't talk about any serious subjects.
No, this is fun. This will be a good listen. It will not be funny. But it'll be a good. Though we'll get a couple of chuckles in there. But I think it's something that deserves to be talked about once in a while. But let's. It's probably time to take a question. Also, we have a follow up from a couple episodes ago. If you're a continued listener, you know that we took a call from a lady who was upset about Texas men
following her pussy around.
Following her pussy, and she called us back. And we'd like to listen to that with you guys, and then maybe take a question right after that. But it's nice to get a follow-up, because we asked for the follow-up. We don't get it much. We don't want to leave you guys hanging. We got a follow-up, and let's fucking listen.
It's from episode 17.
Yeah, so pause it right now if you haven't listened to that episode. Go back, listen to that episode, come back, listen to this episode. That one was funnier.
It was so heavy.
It's okay. We literally talked about sex fucking worker, not sex worker, sex trafficking, fucking my mom's addiction, the fucking pharmaceutical bullshit in America, the coup. All right, let's do it.
Hi, this is the Yankee calling you back. Thank you both for your help. I appreciate it. Youngblood, don't you dare fucking out me. I'm straight-ish. Jamie, I really, really hope I'm Jewish. That'd be great, because my dad's a Holocaust denier, and I would just love it. Everyone thinks I'm Jewish because I look Jewish. Anyways, don't worry. I had 10 years of therapy, a shroom ceremony, meditation. I do yoga, you name it. I do own numerous vibrators. But like Jamie, I'm a little bit of a serial monogamous kind of a girl. And my problem is I like sex too much, and I can't do casual. So immediately I said, when are we having babies? Do a great job scaring these fuck boys away, which is so much fun. So what do y'all think? I should take a break from dicking around? I'm falling for another good one here. Texas boy in my life. All right? He doesn't smoke weed. He doesn't live in his mom's house. Doesn't make me sleep with his dog, and he can cook. God, I love a man who can cook. All right, don't worry, I'm leaving. I put my notice in today with my apartment. I am leaving, but this dude's complicating my life. Anyhow, y'all have a great day. Love you both.
Aww, look at that. We love you too.
We love you.
I am so curious. So I don't know if they're just a listener, but the way they said my name made me feel like I know something about them, but I don't know who this is. And so I would love it. Please message me. Hit me up on Instagram. I'm just curious on who you are, if we know each other. And if not, then you can also say hi if you like. But so curious. Very interested. But that's a lot. You sound a little tipsy. That's fun. And also, we just... This episode just got released, so you must have listened to it pretty quickly to call in and respond. Which, thank you for listening. Obviously,
thank you so much. Honestly,
but what'd you say about your dildos? She said something about dildos.
She did say I own several dildos because I'd given the advice that I've given before that every
get a Hitachi.
Yeah. Speaking of weaning yourself off, to take the heavy thing light. You gotta wean yourself off the dick.
Yeah.
Just slowly, and with the shroom ceremonies and all the things, I'm sure that helps too. But I actually, now that I heard this follow-up, I don't think
she's leaving.
She's addicted to sex. I think she's addicted because she likes monogamy too. I think it sounds like she might have a love addiction too, where she gets into a thing.
Yeah, the baby thing's pretty when are we having babies? That would scare everyone away. You're not wrong with that. Maybe wait a year.
Did she say she had a baby?
No. She said that she starts hanging out with guys, and then she's like, "So when are we having a baby?" And that's pretty intense. So I get why you scare them away with that, especially if you just start dating them. My brain is just the fact that you said. But you listen to the podcast, so obviously you know my name, you know her name. It might not even be someone I know. But every time that someone says my name on any of these calls, I'm like, who is this? Where are they from? Why do I know them? And blah, blah, blah. But
he can't even respond to anything. He just heard his name and he's like,
Yeah, I didn't hear a word after that. And then I heard dildo. It really sucked me back in. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think you're asking for advice here. I appreciate the follow-up, but you said you're moving. We're glad you moved. We told you to move.
But she's in a relationship.
Yeah.
She's seeing it.
Well, she's seeing it. Well, it's okay. You know what is okay
just
if you're moving? Just go,
night.
tell them you're leaving, and then there's no pressure. You guys have fun until you leave. Have a blast. And then, also, then you get a fun, hookup when you come back into town. You come to visit. They can come visit you once in a while. That's always fun. There's nothing wrong, but you do you're obviously, you said you're serial monogamous, so you probably just meet some boy there and wherever you're going. I wonder where you're going.
The only part I don't like is she said, he doesn't make me sleep with his dog. Like, I would love to sleep with that guy's dog. Not the guy so much as that guy's dog. I love sleeping in bed with dogs. I think if you're a single dude, get a dog. The more dogs, the better. It is such, oh yeah. I mean, you will clean up at a dog park.
But I'm happy that they're leaving and that they're moving on and that they're listening and that they love us.
Yeah, on to the next adventure. I think it's good. And she did say one kind of question adjacent thing, which is, should I just date myself or something? Or she said something, or should I just be alone for a bit? And I think that is the answer. I think I kind of said that last
time. Pack
time.
up your dillies and get out of town.
Yeah, just don't, get off, but just don't date anyone. Maybe make a rule for yourself, like you set a certain time frame. Like, you're going to this new city, experience the new city for 3 months on your own, then start dating. Or then start hooking up.
Or just get there, get on the apps, have fun, enjoy your life.
No. I think you should set a thing for yourself to just hang out with yourself for 3 months. It's just 3 months.
Or not. Have fun. Enjoy yourself.
He's just being a contrarian.
Explore boys. No, it's boy men. That's what we're talking about. You gotta stop using the word boys. That's the problem. And man, you did list a bunch of things that sound like you dated a whole bunch of losers. You're like, he doesn't smoke weed. He doesn't have. He has a job. You're doing very low bar things. You're like, he doesn't live with his parents. He doesn't. I'm like, okay, this is bare minimum.
I can tell she has a big heart though, and she loves love. It sounds like, as do I. I'm a romantic. You want to give people a chance, but again, I just think you just chill on your own and yeah, for a minute. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. You're the best, and for following up. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Let's take a call and then get the hell out of here, huh?
Or an email. What was this?
Whatever we got.
Actually, we do have an email.
All right, let's take an email.
I'm a 39-year-old woman with a lot to offer the world, but everywhere I go, someone's mind gets blown because I've never seen Star Wars. It makes me feel like a stupid idiot, even though I'm a really good person. It gets worse. My boyfriend of 7 months has been telling me that it's an embarrassment, and unless I give the program and like it, I can hit the road. I love my boyfriend, but don't feel like spending 492,592 hours getting caught up on 1,000 movies starring mystical green babies and robots. What do I do?
Oh, jeez.
Dump his ass.
That's crazy. Yeah. He's giving you an ultimatum. First of all, who has a Star Wars ultimatum? You fucking nerd. That is crazy. Get out of here with that. Star Wars is fine. It's not whatever. It's not everything. It's fine. The fucking green baby's cute in The Mandalorian. He was ugly when he was old in the movies. But it's fun. It's a whimsical adventure. There's nothing wrong with it. But to give someone a dating ultimatum, go fuck yourself. That's crazy. You tell them to hit the road. Or go back, be like, you know what? I don't know what movie you like, but let's pick the most girly fucking. First of all, I love this, so I'm not shitting on it. But be like, I'll watch all those Star Wars, but you have to watch every Sex in the City with me, which is actually a delightful show. I love it. I watched every episode.
Don't even go back and forth with this dude. I'm so annoyed. I'm so like.
Have you ever seen Star Wars?
I watched the one with Natalie Portman, obviously.
That's pretty crazy.
And it's not even a good one.
Yeah, that's like the shittiest one, I think.
Yeah, but I love her so much. I just don't get. I cannot get over the theme that's happened recurring now, over and over, with a lot of these calls and questions of some loser making a goddess, amazing catch of a woman feel less than because of some random BS. Who cares? That is not what life is about. I guess if he really loves it, but the way he said it, to her, hit the road.
It's a little bit much. Here's the thing. Now, if you watch it and you're like, you have to pretend to like it, even if you don't. And they are good movies, so don't I'm not shitting on the series. It's fine. But I think if this guy really, if this is real, this is a real ultimatum in this fucking crazy world. This guy has got a fucking Jedi costume that he keeps in his closet, and he's gonna start bringing it into the bedroom. And he's gonna fucking Jedi mind trick your ass into ass play, and it's not gonna be good. You're gonna get stuck in a whole world of fucking Comic-Cons and fucking having sex with a trash can on wheels that beeps at you. I think it's gonna be awful.
Sleeping overnight to see the new movie. Do you want this to be your life?
No, you can't do that.
Do you want to dress up? Do you want to wear your hair in 2 buns for the rest of your life? Do you want some weird incestual Star Wars sibling porn?
Tell them you're more of a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah, I mean, just move on. I don't like any of this.
This is absurd. Yeah, this is an insane thing. We both think this guy sucks.
I feel like every person has this kind of one thing that they judge a new relationship if the person hasn't seen or doesn't like that thing.
Do I have one?
Like, is there something that if a girl hasn't ever seen you, your mind would be blown? Or like, what if she's like, I hate Death Cab for Cutie. They are the worst band I've ever heard. They suck.
I would say, well, that's fine. And your next boyfriend will probably like something different.
See?
So, no, I wouldn't. First of all, I don't think I would date anyone. I think I could get, someone could be like, yeah, I get it, but it's not really for me. That's fine. But after, there's a lot of reasons why I like this band that's important to me, right? There's a lot of emotion behind my connection with this band. Like it lined up at certain moments in my life multiple times that were important. Most important, why not? Let's keep it going dark. Most important person in my life was my aunt, and she passed away. And I was always a big fan of this band, right? It was like my favorite already. But, the funeral's in upstate New York, which nothing's in upstate New York. No one goes to upstate, bands don't go to upstate New York, they don't do it. The day of the funeral, the band is playing my college, where I, kind of had a coming of age moment in college, obviously, like a lot of us do. But it happened at the funeral. The day I was like, I was a mess. I was crying and it was very it was just a lot, right? And then I went to the show alone after the funeral, right? And I go and I'm like, it's a seated like the Woodlands, what is that called? A pavilion, right? It's a pavilion, so they have lawn seats and then seats, and I'm pretty close to the front. There's no pit, there's nothing, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna get up and just walk up to the rail and see what happens. I do it, and everyone comes. I'm the first person to do it. And this is halfway through their set, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm just crying, and I'm like thinking about my aunt, and thinking about like how much I miss her, and I'm listening to music, which is very beautiful, and there's a lot of songs about loss and different things in there. And then I look over and I see my friend from college that I hadn't seen in forever, and he was just at the show. And I saw another friend, and I was like, and I started to see friends that I didn't expect to see, and I had this moment that I'll just never forget. It's just it's something that's very important. It's one of the reasons that band is very important to me, very close, because they've just been there in certain times. That they were, during my divorce, like it was all helpful to me. So if someone hated that band, I would have a hard time actually being with them. If they were actively like, I hate that band sucks. If they were telling me that, then I'd be like, yeah, well, this is important to me, so at least shut the fuck up or pretend to do it because you know that this is important
to
me.
But you can't make assumptions that anyone would know this. So this is the thing. Maybe this dude with the Star Wars thing relates to, the fact, I don't know that much about Star Wars, but Darth Vader came into his son's life late, and maybe this guy has daddy issues or whatever. Maybe he has a whole thing, but he didn't present it that way. It doesn't sound
well,
like.
in this email, it definitely doesn't sound like it's that way.
If you didn't give any of that gorgeous backstory,
I know.
like heartache,
I saw your eyes water
and
up
your aunt, and
just
like
a little bit.
well, and I was also like,
mine almost did. That got me into feelings of the moment.
The idea of like, you thought that it was this beautiful moment, but like, what did your friends think that saw their like weird high school friend like weeping in the middle of a field? Like,
yeah, no, I get it. But I just told them, and they were like, we hugged, and then I think one of them cried with me at one point. And
I also am surprised you don't like Garden State, because I feel like there are like similar themes.
I don't know it. Just don't know it.
Music you like.
I'll rewatch it. I just don't remember it. Is all.
And Natalie.
But yeah, I don't unless there's. Here's the thing: if he does have a Star Wars tie of something in his life where has made this very important to him, like he watched it with his dad, and his dad died of lupus or some shit, and yeah, I don't know. People still die of that. But like, if that is something, the person who wrote this email, they're the shitty one because they're not portraying it that way at all. And so I'm gonna assume the person who wrote the email is telling the truth. And they're like, this person's just a fucking dork.
Either way, they shouldn't be together because you clearly aren't communicating and understanding each other. So
I would never make an ultimatum of like, hey, you have to like this thing I like. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would. If I started dating someone, they're like, I hate comedy. I'd be like, well, guess what? Gotta go. But that's my fucking life, right? That's everything. I went on a date. Pretty bad date, and it was bad. But she goes, within like 20 minutes of us hanging out, she goes, I gotta tell you something. I just don't like stand-up. I hate it. And I was like, why would you even go on this date?
That's an insane thing to say, overarching. You don't like any stand-up?
Yeah, it's a bananas thing.
It's one thing if you say one person, but like the art of you don't like any... You don't like to laugh?
You don't even have to like my stand-up. Just like something. Not Chris D'Elia, but, you know.
Just... What is there to know? Yeah.
It's a crazy
it's an insane thing to say.
So there are certain things I would be like, if you can't get behind this, or at least respect it, I would have to walk away from.
Yeah, I'm also like an adult person. That if someone said that, I'd be like, well, I'd like dig in. I'd be like, well, what do you mean by that?
Oh, this person I could tell was just doing it they probably liked stand-up. They were totally just doing it to get a rise. And I was like, here's the thing is, I'm not a person that gives a rise to anybody. like unless it's like a fun friend and we're arguing and
well, if you're not going to give a rise to the girl, then why would she stick around for the late night?
Maybe we can get sponsored by Blue Chew.
Hey!
I've taken some Blue Chew. Yeah, I've got one. I got one left. You ever take one, Ben?
No.
I took one because I wanted I don't have problems, right? I don't. I ordered it because a friend of mine, he said he did it, and what happened, it gave him like a super dick, and I was like, oh, I don't have problems, but who wouldn't want like a fucking roided out?
You know what makes it sound like you're lying though when you're just like, well, I don't have problems.
I know, but
I don't have any problems.
I don't have problems.
Who's your celebrity crush? Who's your dream girl? Celebrity. Known person.
Brittany Murphy?
You name a...
Brittany Murphy now. No,
what a weird
I love Brittany Murphy. God, she was so hot. Everyone likes Brittany Murphy. Everyone likes her.
It's very...
Remember?
You love her. Everyone loves her.
Everyone loves her. And we cannot do a podcast if you... remember that scene, Ben? And Eminem?
Oh,
yeah.
She goes like this. I was trying to make sound. And then she just goes down with it, and I'm like...
It is a hot scene, like, how it is, like, filthy. Yeah. And that's hot. That's what's hot about it.
The lick was hot.
And the fact that they're, like, he, like, pushes her up against the thing in the...
No cuts from that scene. It's about a minute long.
Didn't they actually have a date?
I don't think they take a cut from that whole scene. That's the only thing that bothers me about it is because they have 1 minute sex and then B-Rabbit's like, ah! And I'm like, 1 minute? Eminem, come on, man. At least do a nice cut so we think it's been longer. But I guess it's like up against the wall, your shit. In the warehouse, kind of do it quick. So I guess.
He might have been a virgin in that. Like,
no.
They kind of painted him as kind of a wizard.
He was 23. There's no way he was a virgin in that movie.
Oh, really?
This is kind of weird. Last night, I had an argument about how old he was playing in that movie.
So he's 23?
23 years old.
Interesting.
That is strange that we talked about that. And I know that. No.
Wait, he was 23 playing 23.
He was 30 playing 23.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I probably would have guessed like 20, but.
Yeah. The person who is an idiot, and they were guessing 17 yesterday.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
like, you're fucking stupid, loser. Anyways, leave this fucking dork, right?
I'm like so beyond this. I'm trying to get in my.
Sorry, we're done with this Star Wars
No.
bullshit.
I was trying to ask you. I was thinking about why I asked the Brittany Murphy thing, and I was thinking about Blue Chew, and I was thinking about the fact that, like,
My super dick.
I just would be offended.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
I get offended. I think we talked about this.
Make it all about you.
No, it is. I'm not saying it's okay, but I would be a little bit offended if I knew someone had to like. And that's so unfair.
It's not about you. It's people have issues. I took it, and I used it with a partner that I'd been with for a long time, and so we did it just to like see if it would pump me up.
Does it stay
and
after?
It didn't really. I was drinking though every time, so I'd like get pretty drunk, and then I'd pop one, and then I was like, all right, let's do it, and then I was like, I don't really know if it made a difference, or if the alcohol, or if maybe it did make a little difference, or I never noticed the difference, but people tell me it gives it a big thing, and I was like, I don't know if.
And then does it stay? Does it like stick around?
No, not for me. I came and went.
Came and went.
Yeah. It just instantly falls down. Like a pop balloon.
Blue Chew.
yeah, they're definitely not going to sponsor us now. I just shit talk their product. Did nothing for me. Blue Chew. Try it now. Free trial. If you use code MESSHALL.
Ben, did you have a thing for Taylor? Like that she had to like you were glad that she did or something?
Well, definitely on our first date, we connected on something that was really dorky.
What?
We're both Twin Peaks fans.
Wait.
Wow, I like a TV show that goes nowhere and is very slow.
Super old, like way out of.
It reminds me of the first episode of this podcast.
I thought that Twin Peaks was a movie forever, and just watched the It's Always Sunny episode that I thought was a Twin Peaks thing, but it was a It's Always Sunny episode making fun of the movie Hot Dog.
I don't remember.
You ever see Hot Dog?
No.
I have not.
Okay. Screw it, that went nowhere.
Sorry.
Wait, how did Twin Peaks have anything to do with Hot Dog?
I thought that Twin Peaks was a movie about like the cool skiers trying to save the mountain from the big corporate guy coming in to buy the mountain, and it was
But that's Hot Dog?
It's called Hot Dog.
Oh, that's so funny.
But I know all of the
Twin Peaks is Hooters' #1 competitor.
I know, and I'm such a dork that I got so excited when
you thought it was a Twin Peaks thing.
Yeah, and I was like,
then your wife's like, I'm not going to Twin Peaks. You're like, it's my favorite place. If you don't like it, this is a no-go.
Yeah, I felt like such a loser. Like, no, it's a restaurant. I was like,
a
that's
restaurant?
Cool.
I've never heard it called that.
Restaurant.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I feel like you could have used it as an excuse. You tell her it's a Twin Peaks themed.
No, I'm not into that stuff. I'm into Twin Peaks. I'm into dorky TV show.
Oh, you're not into just the female form?
Going to a place
it is
that
a weird choice. It's
specifically
halfway, right? Like you could either go to a strip club or go to a regular club, but like it is a weird midway point. Like you see families there sometimes eating meals. It's like a weird vibe.
Weird. My dad took me to Hooters when I was 10 years old, and I didn't know exactly what it was, and I remember panicking because I thought I was going to get in trouble with my mom, and so I refused to go in, and my dad let me sit in the car in the summer in Houston, and I just sat in the car, and he sent out a waitress, and a waitress came out and brought me a Dr. Pepper, and I was like, "Come in, honey, it's okay," and I was like, "No, I don't want to go to hell." I was so scared.
And it's sad. What a weird story. I can't believe he left you outside.
Yeah. See, people are going to get to know us through this podcast. They're like, Andrew's got some fucked up shit.
But as an adult man, like, why? I just don't understand. I don't understand so many of the rituals that men do, but like, you don't see full tits, so you're just going, I get it's so exciting to see like cleavage, which you can probably see really anywhere, but like while you're eating chicken wings, and like, do you want your dick to be hard while you're eating wings? It's just like a weird
I'm not really sure.
mix of things.
I've gone a couple times as an adult. I went for a bachelor party one time. One time I was with 3 of my buddies. We're on the way to a casino, and one of them was like, "Let's go to Hooters." And I was like, "Sure, let's do it." We went. It was fine. My favorite thing about Hooters is the leggings, because they're all the same color no matter the ethnicity of the waitress. And I'm like, this is funny.
They all got like Barbie legs.
Yeah, they all. So those
for comedy,
crack me up.
those types of places are awesome. But that feels a little mean too.
For sure.
Like I just also I don't understand why men always want to get hard together in groups. I want to get wet privately, not with my friends. Like
I wish you would talk about it privately. Gross.
I'm just saying, like, why do men always want to like
a penis when inside
get
itself?
hard together?
No one wants to get hard together.
It's weird.
I have friends that regularly go to strip clubs, like weekly, and I'll go with them every once in a while, and it's not really like, at least with them. And I know I have other friends I've been to strip clubs with where it's like they're just horny animals and they're running up there and throwing money out and like, ooh, I want to lap dance and stuff like that. But these guys I go with, they're close friends of mine. They like know the staff, they know the girls, they know, it's pretty weird. It's not weird, but like they know like the manager and the DJ, and we'll go there and like we'll get like a table in like the like in a VIP section or whatever, and we'll get like a table and we'll just sit there and drink together, and it's nice because we'll just sit and talk, and we're not getting lap dances, and there is beautiful women behind us dancing and stuff like that, and then every once in a while one of them will come over and just like sit and talk with us, and we'll like, you know, and we'll tip them just for hanging out because we feel bad, we don't want them to waste, you know, time, or, you know, they're not making money if they're just talking to us, but it's an enjoyable experience because I'm with some of my closest friends, we're having a great conversation, and there are there's beautiful. No, I'm not. We're not sitting around horny like, oh, look at those tits. Ah, it's so hard. Want to touch it? Like, we're not that. We are just sitting around talking about like about fucking the time I went to Hooters, about, you know, growing up, about this, about that. We're having normal conversations, and it's just nice to have.
But it's not
a beautiful thing,
right?
What do you mean? What?
Like, I'm not saying getting off. I'm saying just getting hard. Like, it's
if
not
I see a pair of but if I see a pair of tits, I'm not just automatically getting hard. Maybe some guys do that, but I don't think it takes more than me just seeing like a girl dancing on stage to get hard. I'm not gonna. It's like, you know, if I had a lap dance, maybe I would be getting hard, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, I think just girls dancing in the background.
I'm just trying to understand.
There's so much nudity in every goddamn movie. Every guy would just be fucking hard every time a movie happened. So, you know, you think anytime we see a sex scene, we're fucking, I'm about to come.
Why don't you want to watch, like, why is it awkward to watch a sex scene in front of your parents then?
I watched American Pie with my dad, American Wedding, and it was probably one of the most awkward hour and a half of my life. There's so much sex.
I guess there's just so much, like, emotional
in there.
and other stuff going on.
Oh, it's just weird. You don't, you know, here's the thing. When you watch, especially when you're younger, right? I watched a movie with my dad. I was probably 15 when that came out. I was jerking off all the time because I was a fucking teenager, and you know, I know I jerk off. This is a funny fucking movie, and they talk about jerking off and all these things, and we're all finding it funny. But I sure don't want my dad to know that I jerk off. And so when he's fucking a pie and talking about how hot and warm it is, I can't be like, this is funny. I got to be like, what the hell is this, Dad?
But the weird thing is, our parents know we're all jerking off.
Yes, but it's not good for the psyche of the kid. But it fucking cracks me up every time I hear it.
I took long baths when I was young.
God damn it.
My mom was like, she had to put a time. Yeah, sorry.
Stop sitting on the dryer, Jamie. God damn it.
She had to put like times, restrictions on how much water I could use because the bath would be running. She's like, why is it running still?
Oh yeah, my aunt. I lived with her. R.I.P. This is embarrassing, but I lived with her for a while, and I go into the shower, and I would often use conditioner to
Makes sense.
Lube it up, and then I noticed one day, because I would do that regularly, I'd take these long ass jerk off showers, and I noticed after a while she started marking the thing with Sharpie. And,
like what parents used to do with liquor bottles.
Yeah, well, she used to mark it, and so I saw her doing that, and I panicked, and so I would just sit there, and I spent the whole time scraping off it all, so it was all just scraped up, and then she'd mark it again, I'd just scrape it up, and jerk off, and scrape it. We had a real back and
You
forth.
just fill it with water, too, so
then
it's just a little bit of like, why is it so liquidy?
Yeah, and then I listen to Death Cat and think of her.
Oh my God.
That's a good episode. That was fun. Thanks for listening. You can follow me at NoYoungblood, AndrewYoungblood.com. I've got shows. They're not updated on my website, but I got to do it. The recording's being moved, but please just get tickets to that. And that's really all I got. I got Iowa, the July 29th and 30th. Des Moines? No, that's not right.
Des Moines?
Yeah, maybe that. Davenport, Iowa. That's where it is. I don't know. It's fucking crazy.
I thought you were trying to say Des Moines, but you were just pronouncing it Des Moines.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know. I've never been to Iowa. This is a first for me. But come out and say hi.
Follow me at...
Follow Jamie home.
At the Jamie Rowan. Please, I need a stalker.
Yeah.
Still no stalkers this week.
It's coming.
At the Jamie Rowan, at the Mess Hall Pod, JamieRowanComedy.com, all the things. That's it for now.
Thanks. Bye.